Hello. Is everybody ready for night one in Chicago here? The band certainly seemed to be opening up with Harry Hood tonight. In fact, opening with Harry Hood and ending with 46 Days. Oh, that's real cute. Ha 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 ha. I see what they did there, A traditional opener and a traditional encore, or at very least a second set closer. But it was very nice and refreshing to get Harry Hood to kick off the show here tonight. If you're a YouTube set opener watcher, you were certainly rewarded tonight. You got the sand the other night, so it's been a pretty good summer for the YouTubers. Well, here in the second half of this tour so far, you're getting jammed up a little bit. All right, enough about the YouTubers, but another strong, very strong set one opener here tonight, and then into Oblivion. Really, an overall very strong first set. Oblivion possibly settling into its role here in the first set as one that's gonna, maybe over time there's songs that they just have this first set jamming and they kind of stay there and it does well. Maybe like something in the past was Rogue or Undermine. Wolfman's Brother continues to be that role. Maybe Oblivion's starting to fill in there. Theme from the Bottom being another one. Songs that you just feel like, are they going to graduate to the second set? Well, maybe they don't necessarily need to. Oblivion, perhaps one of those songs. Heavy Things, tonight's bust out. Well, one of a couple of bust outs here tonight. Heavy Things being the first, coming off of the Farmhouse album. Not having a lot of good things to say about Heavy Things, other than we don't get it a whole lot. Bathtub Gin right here, mid first set. Gin with some strong tequila teases throughout the night too. Feel like Lowrider was sneaking in there in like a song or two. We had some Wizard of Oz teases and Limb by Limb. So they were sprinkled in gin too, a couple things going on. But the tequila, the most obvious. Just and maybe a couple of times, almost like a tequila theme there in this Bathtub Gin, following the Heavy Things. And then On Your Way Down, I was one of the people that was wondering, was struggling to come, what is this song? It sounded somewhat familiar. I was like, is this a Ghost of the Forest? It does kind of seem like it could have been a Ghost of the Forest song, perhaps. Definitely seems like it fits modern Phish really well. But really have to go all the way back to the early days of Phish, the late '80s, when it had its heyday. On Your Way Down, and then played a couple times in the '90s, and then played a couple of times in the early 2000s or 3.0, I guess, '09, whatnot. So On Your Way Down, very welcome. We'll see. Will it stick around? I don't know. Stick around. Speaking of Paige McConnell. So far, we have got a nice set rolling along, and then Limb by Limb making its summer debut. All right, no, I'm just kidding. I did that on purpose. I keep making that mistake somehow, identifying songs as making their summer debut when really they just played it several shows ago, or in some cases 2 or 3 shows ago. Limb by Limb, I believe, played back in Texas. Like I said, had the Wizard of Oz tease. And maybe something else in there in the Limb by Limb. I was almost feeling... maybe that Limb by Limb was perhaps going to go a little deeper, but then we drop into Hey Stranger, much like Oblivion, starting to come through as a strong first set song. Perhaps someday it will graduate to the second set. I know Oblivion's had a shot or two over here, and of course can do anything. Maybe Hey Stranger too, but I like every time they play it. It's very good. But they had to follow that up with Character Zero. Unfortunately, we had a great set going. All right, so the zero wasn't that bad. In fact, I thought we were going to get more, it was just going to be, I figured the zero solo would be just Trey teasing, Lowrider, Tequila, whatever else we had going on. Off to See the Wizard, Yellow Brick Road. I don't know, anything really. So overall, a very strong first set. Maybe it was the Hood that kick-started it. Songs like Oblivion and Hey Stranger. It's so great that new songs really are the strong point in a lot of these shows, because over here in the second set, the Bathtub Gin was strong. On Your Way Down, very welcome to hear. Certainly not new, not even a Phish song. It was by I saw it there on .net. I apologize, the guy's probably dead. Certainly not watching. If he's alive, somebody knows, you can leave a comment please, if you would. Tell me who wrote On Your Way Down. And then No Man in No Man's Land opening up the second set. Certainly not overplayed anymore, No Man in No Man's Land. Maybe it would be nice if it starts filling this role. It was easing us into the second set. What was going to be our big one here in the What's Going Through Your Mind. And really, these three here kind of started to run together. Might have been too many bong hits involved. I mean, they had to resort to the vacuum by Mike Gordon and Crosseyed. I gotta say, this is the second time Mike, at least the second time I've noticed that Mike has grabbed that vacuum and he's playing around with it. He's getting some kind of sound effect from it. Then he just kind of throws it. Like he doesn't throw his drill. He doesn't do that when he starts removing clothing and scarves during the show. He just gently sets them down. I don't really like that. You got to respect the vacuum, you know? I don't really, you guys see that? I don't like that. This twice now, at least Mike's done that. Cut it out. Don't do that. Somebody tell Mike that. Be like, hey, no, we don't like it when you throw the vacuum. I don't know how Fishman feels about it. Fishman, I'd be like, oh, accidentally a drumstick flew out of him and hit him right in the back of his fucking head. Like, don't be doing that to Henrietta. What's the vacuum? What do they call the vacuum? Henrietta. All right, so then we get a Farmhouse. We go way down. And the what's going through your mind, it seemed like, okay, we're not going to just build to this big joyous peak. But eventually it got to that point. It's hard, so many of these have been so strong. Every now and then, if there's one that's just kind of good, it's it's like, it feels like a bit of a letdown. And then Cross-Eyed and Painless, it wasn't a surprise there really to me. This maybe, again, it's maybe not being used as the centerpiece of these sets, but in there. But then again, we got another one of those with Light. I gotta say, as a longtime supporter of Light, it is not coming through here lately. It's another one just as finally something's happening. They bail on it. This time going into number line. Like I said, Farmhouse in between here. All right, we've got to cool off, I guess, at some point. But we really need to cool off. This wasn't exactly a burner. And then, Light coming through. And, at least it's like another similar song would be Piper, And then you see what happened in Columbus with Piper. Every now and then, you get a 6 or 7 minute dud. It's just filling some jamming time in the second set. But Light, too one-dimensional now. It's about all it's doing. We're going to have a big one soon. Or else just maybe just trash it. I don't know. Then backwards down the number line, Trey sneaking in a Cavern right after the number line. So trying to pump things back up after the Farmhouse Light debacle. Okay, that was a joke. Calm down, all right? Number line and Cavern, definitely bringing the energy back up. Certainly 4, Horse Silent in the Morning, welcomed by some, loathed by others. And then 46 Days, which should have opened the show, as myself and I'm sure certainly others picked 46 Days as the opener. And it was a big, powerful Trey Wank Fest ending the show. Some jamming there, like we get a lot of times, with the encore. If you see a song like that, figure, all right, we got minimum, but some jamming. It's the encore. All right, well, let's see. A strong, probably the first set, really, I feel like maybe won the night. I don't know. I have to maybe re-listen to this trio again, perhaps. I don't know if I really need to listen to Farmhouse through everything else, though. All right, guys. Boom. We are out of here. Thank you for tuning in. This is night 1 in Chicago. No cat tonight other than on the wall. Rose and Floppy are their names. Thank you for tuning in. Boom. 2 nights remaining in Chicago. All right, I can't talk. Throw the Sharpie. Hit X. We're out of here. Boom. Thank you. Love you.